we're going to do a tutorial here from the guidebook on another tarot spread, and I want to use the Lieseilles Eternal Tarot. And I was just going through the guidebook here, and I'm thinking about focus of the day, because it's pretty generic and it should work for anything, right? It's not really specific per se. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just pull the cards according to this spread. It's 5 positions, card 1 through 5. And it's going to give us the theme or main focus of the day, what I should be aware of, what action should I take, what is the underlying energy, and then, of course, it wraps up on the potential outcome for today. Now, what I like to do this is I give my spin on it, and then we read together what the book said, just so we can see how this deck actually reads. So let's go ahead and get started here and just have some fun with this little spread on what we should be doing today. Okay, so again, this is the Lieseilles, I think you pronounce it like that, Tarot, Eternal Tarot. Okay, so focus of the day. What is the main focus for today? What is that? I'm not going to do any reversals. If they are, we're going to put them upside right. And also, you notice how these cards are like this? I'm not going to do reversals because like you see how it was this way, it's not reversed. It was this way, it's reversed. I don't know. I just think like, I'll talk about this in another video really soon. I have a couple ideas on this, on the whole reversal situation, but that's another video for another time. So let's see, how is this thing set up again? 3 and 2. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. Okay. So the question is, what is the main focus for today? Card number 1. And the main focus for today is around the 10 of Wands. To me, that's really means like letting go, is that you hold on too much and you don't delegate or you don't share. So you end up always getting weighed down and bogged down, and it just burns you out. And so if you don't really let others help you, then it just drains your energy. And this is fire, by the way. It's a Wands card. And what they say here is an uphill struggle. That's on the card. And you have to just sometimes let go. And that's a decision you have to make. The 2, and you see you have 8 in the middle. So the 8 is like an engine to progress forward all the time. But how do you progress forward when you're always carrying the load all by yourself? That's the feeling that I'm getting with that card right there. And what do they say? Well, 10 of Wands appears in a reading. It signifies burden, pressure, and the weight of responsibility. This card embodies the energy of carrying a heavy load and the challenges that come with being under pressure. Okay, I can agree with that. I totally agree with that. It encourages you to acknowledge the burdens you are carrying and to find ways to lighten your load or manage your responsibilities more effectively. That would be delegation. Okay? Uphill struggle. The mantra of this card is the uphill struggle highlights the importance of recognizing the difficulties and pressures you are facing. It suggests that you are carrying a significant burden and that the journey feels arduous. The card is about understanding the weight of your responsibilities and the need to address them. That's what we said, so we're aligned here. It also has an under pressure section, which kind of reiterates the above. And then carrying the burden, it suggests you have a lot of responsibility. It says the same thing, kind of. Let's see what else we got. Anything else for the 10? Yes, it does. So here it also goes into the numerology about it. And it says completion. The 10 signifies completion or the end of a cycle because it goes back to the 1. And the 10 of Wands encourages you to recognize you are nearing the end of a challenge in your journey, getting ready to hit the finish line. It also represents fulfillment. That's more of the 9. And then transitions is the number 10, highlights the theme of the transition. Okay, so I don't know if I would use all these meanings. I don't really align with them, but I do definitely align with the overall meaning. Okay, so the focus of today is really just let go and let other people help you. That's what it's trying to tell you. Now it's saying what you should be aware of is a tower. Let it all just drop. Stop trying to hold on. That's when you have all this energy. You just don't want to let go. That things have got to collapse for things to get better. So you have to realize in your head, like, you can't do it all. Let it go. Let it all come crash down. Because if you don't let it come crashing down, then it becomes to a point where you are going to fall into total fatigue, maybe get mono or something like that. You're just going to drain the hell out of yourself. That's why it's telling you, this is your warning. Let go. Let others help you, or you will pay the price of this. What are you going to do? So let's go ahead and see what the Tower says in the actual book. And there's a card up close, so you can see it. It has a 16 at the very top. And what is a 16? It's a 7. You got to step back and assess if you want victory. So we're going to go to the Tower card here and see what it says. All right, so the Tower says in this little guidebook, the Tower card symbolizes sudden upheaval, revelation, and a breakdown of existing structure. Yep. But remember, the question here was about focus of the day. And since we're having problems with carrying too much, keep that for context. The imagery on this card highlights the theme of dramatic change, the uncovering of truth, and the need for a solid foundation. And you get that by letting go. The Tower itself represents the existing structures of status quo in one's life, symbolizes the established order, beliefs, or situations about to be challenged or transformed because you don't want to let go. So you're going to be forced to let go. The lightning bolt symbolizes uncovering of truth or the revealing of previously hidden circumstances. Like a spark, bang. Okay, I get that. It represents sudden insight, clarity, and the forces of change that disrupt the status quo. Okay, I could go with that as well. So far, we are aligned. The foundation of the Tower is shown as a fractured rock. It symbolizes that it is not quite solid because it's going to come crumble down, right? Because it's broken. The aspect illustrates the instability of the existing structures and the necessity for reevaluation and rebuilding. Yep. So you have to let sometimes everything come down so you can rise from the ashes and rebuild. That makes total sense. And when you're carrying too much load on your own, you have to let go of them. That's hard for people who have to control, because maybe in the past you had something that hurt you really bad, and that the only thing that gives you control in life is controlling your environment. But then that also breaks you down. So keep that in mind. And then the toppled crown at the top of the card, it shows that what once was no longer exists, indicating the fall of existing structures and the loss of former status or power. It represents the dramatic and often challenging process of dismantling the old to make way for the new. Okay, so when you do a reading, and I advise always use a spread, keep things in context, because you have to pair the meaning with the question. And since this is the focus of the day, you have to kind of look at the last sentence here where it says dismantling the old to make way for the new. And that's your way your mind is. You always want to carry the load because you feel like maybe nobody can do it better than you can. But if you don't let go, then you're end up going to crash hard. So it's almost like a warning. What do you think? Do you agree with that? Are you feeling like a warning vibe here as well? That's what I'm kind of getting. Now, number 3 says, what action should I take? So how do you stop this before destruction occurs? And we have the Emperor, stability. You have to become stable in your world. You have to trust in your own power, your own decision making. You have to be the one that stands strong no matter what. So even though you let go, realize that it's okay. Have enough strength to let other people help you. Isn't that what an emperor does? Does the emperor do everything by themselves? No, they don't do everything by themselves. They delegate to their knights, to their queen, to their pages, to the town, to the people, right? They delegate. And that's what you need to do. You need to let go and delegate a little bit, because if you don't, that floor becomes destabilized and you crash, tower, bang, game over, right? So here, what does the emperor say in this deck? I like these cards a lot. They're really, really cool. Okay, so here's the Emperor. And here's a card just so you can see up close real quick one more time. Look at that, beautiful. You see the ram head. So you know it's a fire energy, the Aries in that. Really nice. Holding the sword with the crown on top of it. Like the vibe of that card. So it says that the Emperor card stands tall and regal, embodying authority, structure, and control. Seated upon a magnificent throne, he commands attention and respect. His presence radiates wisdom and power. Adorned with symbols of sovereignty, the emperor represents the pinnacle of leadership and governance. Now, again, in this reading, it's really leadership and guidance and governance of your own life. It's not really so much of others, but it also has a thing of trusting, like I said, because the question was that what I do for today, and you're carrying too much load. You're not delegating because you don't trust. So you have to trust. That's the action to fix this so you don't crash. Okay, the ram's head, it goes into, I'm not going to read all these, but it gives you what each of the symbols mean and their interpretation of it. I'll just give this one little piece here. It says that when the Emperor card appears in a reading, it speaks to the themes of authority, structure, and leadership. See, structure, because without structure, you don't delegate. You're afraid to. It suggests that you are in a position of power and influence and encourage you to take charge of your life. When you can't take charge, you're doing all the work. You know, it's funny. I tell so many people with my past career, unfortunately, that, and it wasn't by choice, I'll get into that later, that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you actually care, right? And so a true leader doesn't hold on or micromanage with a tight fist. They let go and they trust people. And then a true leader also plants seeds. That's the one. Now, you're not supposed to do subtractive here, but I just saw the one that I kind of popped in my head. You have a one there as well. A 10 is a one. It's the potentials. And when you think about this, is that when you plant seeds, you're not telling somebody how to do something, you're teaching them. And the other thing you need to do is it always have the backup plan in place and let them have the win. That's how you grow people. That's how you help them move forward in their career. Even in life, relationships, friendships, let them have the win. Put the ego in check. If the emperor is reversed, he's a tyrant. So don't be a tyrant. Be the emperor upright, a fair and just leader. Trusting other people. Now, another thing I learned too a long time ago from somebody very wise, they said that they ought to give everybody 100% trust up front, but if you burn them once, they're done. It's over. You're not getting it back. I kind of agree with that, and I kind of don't. That's another story. Anyway, just that card really brought that to my mind here. Number 4 was, what is the underlying energy? Now, do you agree with this so far? Are you enjoying this spread? I think it's kind of a cool spread for my focus of the day. Now, what is the underlying energy? What is the underlying energy? Teamwork. Oh, 2 of Cups. Yeah, teamwork, unity, to become one. You have to trust. So again, that goes back to making sure that you're on the same page with others when you're trying to delegate. Because if you're trying to delegate, you're not on the same page and you have to maintain control, which burns you out, which makes you kind of more of a tyrannical leader than a good one. So trust other people and just show compassion. It's funny, didn't I just say a minute ago that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care? That's the 2 of Cups energy right there. And it's funny how it just pops up. And I said in another video that tarot is not some hocus pocus. It's actually the universe giving you the answer that you need right now. These cards that come up are not random. I don't believe that for a minute. I believe the universe gives them to you to show so you can then look at them to help you understand things. Because the message is there. You just got to see them for what they are, right? This isn't random. Why'd that card come up? Especially after what I've been saying this whole time. Rewind the video and listen. How could you make that up? You can't. That is not a random card. The universe had it show for a reason. And maybe today you needed this. I don't know. Now, in the book, what does it say for the 2 of Cups? Again, that's emotion, so it's water. So be water. Flow and be flexible. Move with anything. Okay, so the 2 of Cups says that when the 2 of Cups appear in a reading, it signifies harmony, partnership, mutual understanding, mutual respect, and a deepening of emotional connections. That's love, or even just really tight friendship. This card embodies the energy of on the same page, highlighting the importance of mutual respect, shared goals, emotional harmony in relationships. It encourages you to embrace the bond you share with others and nurture the connections that bring balance and joy into your life. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. Now they're saying the 2 here is about what? Balance. It signifies balance and importance of finding harmony. Okay, duality. Yeah, I agree with that too. Represents duality and interplay of 2 energies coming together. Like think about when air and fire come together, what happens? It explodes, right? 2 energies become one. It can become a very powerful weapon, a very powerful force to deal with. It can be good or bad, again, depending on how it's being used. Duality. The 2 of Cups remind you that partnerships are about give and take, and the mutual respect and understanding are key. Partnership that highlights the importance of partnership and the value of working together towards shared goals. The Two of Cups encourages you to celebrate the partnerships in your life and to nurture the connections that bring you joy. And of course, reverse is the opposite of that. But see, here's the thing. This is why I'm kind of thinking about not doing reversals anymore. I'm on the fence right now. You see how right here it has the reverse meaning? It says disharmony, breakups from balance. But really, this landed in a challenge position, then it's already negative. So it doesn't have to be flipped. Because if it's upside down in a negative position, you're not going to read it upside right. That makes no sense. So if it's reversed, it could be delayed, right? But again, the positions what really should define. That's why it's so important to use spreads in tarot. It really is. I know people are going to argue with that, and that's fine. But without the foundation, which the article was about that I wrote prior to doing this tutorial here, I go into that. So go to my website, wordofthetwist.com, and check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you're a member, I also offer a example tutorial video on how to use that spread I came up with. And the last card here is what? What is the potential outcome for today? Okay, so after all this, if you learn to let go and delegate, don't crash, trust people more, and have that balance and unity, then the potential of today is the King of Pentacles. You'll have nothing but success and structural power. That's a really good key word, because letting go is about having structure, because you're trusting once again, because you haven't trusted for a long time. So that's a really interesting card to pull in the last position, is that if you do follow the advice, then you will have the King of Pentacles. You'll be successful and ahead. Let's go and look at what the card actually says here in the book. Okay, so the King of Pentacles, it says that when it appears in a reading, it signifies wealth, stability. That's the key here, stability. And this is a 4, stability, Emperor. Signifies wealth, stability, and the mastery of material or financial matters. You delegate it. You move forward in the material world. The card embodies the energy of structural power, highlighting the importance of building a strong and stable foundation, managing resources effectively, and exercising leadership with wisdom and confidence. They don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care first. Then they'll listen to you. It encourages you to take control of your material world, lead with authority, and create lasting prosperity. So anyway, that is the spread called The Focus of the Day from the Lieseilles Eternal Tarot. And I want your thoughts. Do you enjoy these type of videos? Do you want me to do more of them to help you with your practice, or just read tarot a little better? Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comments below, and I just want to hear from you. Or shoot me an email too. If you have my email, shoot me an email. I reply to almost everybody, unless of course it goes in spam and I miss it, but I always try to check that. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, please do so, wordofthetwist.com. And you can subscribe over there. Or actually, I would recommend becoming a member, because a lot of the content that I've been doing lately is not YouTube, it's written. It goes a little more depth. And I also offer member-only content, which is extended videos, tutorials that are not available to the public or here on YouTube. Anyway, that's what I got for today, and I want to thank each of you for being a subscriber here, for being a member, and for following me. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.